Everybody, welcome back to The Moment. Another day, another dollar. It's your old pal, Meredith Lynch. And as you can tell, I've got some guest co-hosts with me today. I'm so excited for this. Rebecca is out. She'll be back on Friday. I have two friends with me today.
Yeah.
Y'all, okay, first of all, let's get it started over on the screen. We got my friend Billie Lee. You guys, y'all know Billie Lee, right? You know her. She's a writer. She's a comedian. Logo TV honored Billie in the 2018 Logo 30 for raising awareness for the trans community. She continues to be an outspoken advocate, and you might know her from a little show called Vanderpump Rules. Her book, Why Are You So Sensitive, was published in September 2024. It's a great book. I love your book. And then to my right, you know him, you love him. He's Jeffrey J. He's an LA-based stand-up, raised in Texas City, Texas. He was a writer on Riverdale and Pretty Little Liars. He was featured in the New York Times and named one of the Advocate's top transgender comedians. And it's Trans Day of Visibility.
Woo, we're so visible.
So I'm going to shut the fuck up. Like a true ally.
We love you. Our biggest, greatest ally.
Yeah. I love you guys. Well, I'm really excited that you're here today. We're going to have on Scott Turner Schofield later in the episode, who's going to talk to us a little bit about, he's got a new film that's come out. And also, Jeffrey has known Scott for like a while.
A bajillion years. Yeah, it's weird how that happens in the trans community too. Like there was a time when there was only like 6 of us. And then now there's so many, and everyone that we know is transgender. You've had more gender affirming care than I have.
I know. Week actually. Yeah. I'm getting I think we're going to do a little chin filler. I was thinking the other day, I was like, maybe I should just go chin implant.
Oh, please. I got a chin implant. Game changer.
Really?
Yep.
One too. I'm tired of getting her.
Wait, are you thinking of getting one?
Yeah, I had a couple consultations about it because I'm so over just getting filler all the time. And there's one thing that I know that needs to stay is the nice jawline chin. And I've even been told hey, Billie, that's a little too masculine for you. I'm like, I don't care. I want a jawline.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. It's a game changer.
I want to cut deli meat with my jaw. That's the kind of jaw that I want. I also think that at a certain point, it's about the cost, right? How many, if I go get a syringe of filler is $1,000, right? When it's all said and done. So maybe it is just cheaper to go in and get the chin implant. I don't know.
Girl, my chin was $3,000.
That's not that bad.
That's three fillers for you.
Yeah. Okay. Send over the information.
Can we do it?
We got to go to Texas though for this shit.
It was in Texas.
Because it's a little cheaper. And you know what? They're not gonna give you a hard time. They're not gonna say, "Oh, I don't know, that feels like you're going a little too hard." No.
No, I'll go anywhere for surgery. I literally went to Thailand for bottom surgery. So I will travel the world for the right thing.
Well, it's going to be a little bit harder right now because TSA agents are still not totally back in full force. And that's something we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about Laura Dern is producing a scripted Epstein series. And then we, of course, have Scott Turner Schofield joining us on this Trans Day of Visibility. So let's get into it. The government is sort of not shut down anymore in the sense that TSA agents are finally starting to receive back pay from these weeks that they've been going without pay. Trump signed an executive order on Friday that will get them paid, even though Congress still hasn't resolved this funding fight around DHS. Have either of you been to the airport right now during all of this TSA ICE situation?
No.
Thankfully, I've been I live at the airport because of touring, and my back went out, and then I just the way my schedule worked that I basically had all of April, most of March and April in LA. But I've been watching my friends who are also on tour, comedians, and I have to say LA has it together. Most people,
really?
Every video that I've seen people leaving from LA have been oh, this has been really easy for me. So I haven't seen an issue, but I think other airports are obviously struggling.
Yeah, I've seen video footage of JFK, and that's been been bad. But yeah, I think, my sisters were at the New Orleans airport the other day and they sent me the video, and all that ICE was doing was like, how you have to take your own bin out and put it on the thing, right? And also too, like, one moment of stress too, because some airports you have to put it in like this, and some airports you have to put it in like that, and it's like they expect you to know, right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about, or am only I getting yelled at for this?
No, everyone gets yelled at.
I just have to say though, like, I've seen videos of all of the ICE just like standing around, and the amount of testosterone that is just chilling at the airport. Like, I obviously hate ICE, but the way that my vagina would be tingling just going through TSA, I'm like, what is going on? Have you seen like the videos of like these massive muscular men just chilling? Like, yeah, I don't know. I was just
working on make TSA hot again.
That's so funny.
Would you like TSA agents in general more if they were just hotter?
I mean, I think that some of them are hot. Like, look, as long as they're nice and respectful, like I think I'm at the age where it's like, when you're respectful, like those are when my panties drop.
Well, anyway, I will just say, to close the loop on it, all that ICE was doing was putting the bins out in front of people, like standing in front of people being like, okay, here's your bin. It's on the thing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't even know if they're putting them on the right way. I hope TSA yells at them. But anyway, I do think, like, when I think about the fact that TSA workers, though, have been working without pay, I just feel like it's so un-American.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I mean, the idea that you're supposed to like show up for work and like, yeah, maybe you're getting paid like back pay now, but like, what about all the like bills that you had that were due 2 weeks ago, or, the daycare that your kid goes to that you have to pay for every week?
Well, why couldn't he sign the executive order weeks ago? Like, I don't understand how that happened. Like, it still hasn't been signed, but then he can sign an executive order to pay them. So they went this long without being paid. Like, to me, I think it's just a way of deploying ICE. Like, it's his little GI Joes, his little army that he can play with. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and like the funny thing is, we've talked about this on the show before, but like approval for ICE is so low. Like, people, even Republicans, don't like the way that this is going, and I think that's one of the biggest things that, like, if I was the Democrats, I'd just be like hammering home that this will only continue if you don't think differently for the midterms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I will say this though. Somebody is having the time of his life during this partial government shutdown. Someone's enjoying spring break, and that someone is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who has been spotted at Disney World.
I love how that's like the worst disgusting photo ever. Like,
yeah, he's like a human droopy dog.
Why is he dressed like he's my dad going to one of my parent-teacher conferences?
Can we just like give props to TMZ though? Like, this is how we use like TMZ. Like, I'm upset with the fact that we're holding these people accountable.
Love. Yeah, it was a fun assignment for TMZ, by the way. That was like their Disneyland day. They get to go to Disneyland and see who they can spot.
I mean, honestly, that would be the one that I would want. I'd want to be on that leg, because I have to admit, like, I'm not a Disney adult, but I'm an adult who likes Disney. That's how I identify. But I've been thinking a lot about, first of all, there was another headline in Vienna. This is not, we don't have it, but that's okay. There was another headline that was like, Lindsey Graham extends his stay at Disney World. And I was like, you know what? Relatable. Relatable. But I do have to ask you guys, what do you think Republican Senator, probably closeted Lindsey Graham's favorite ride at Disney World is?
It's hard for me because I've never been.
What?
I know, and my partner.
Oh my God. What?
I'm not a Disney person. Like, I like go to fairs for the food, but I'm not like Disney.
You know what? Fair food is actually better than Disney food. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I assume that Lindsey is on the rides that, like, jerk him the most.
Yeah,
Gives him a little pull down there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would say like well, that means we're going on Space Mountain. You know, I love it. You know, I'm going to space. You know what I think? I think though, like to me, Lindsey Graham feels like a Disney purist. Like he likes something that he has probably been there for like 50 years.
Yeah,
so I think he's probably like,
world.
Yeah, it's a small, or like Dumbo. What's the line for Dumbo? Somebody check on the apps.
The one that goes around and up and down. Yeah. Love that.
Also, too, like, why would he be there? Because he doesn't have grandkids.
I don't think that he should be there. I literally think that they should not be able to do anything until TSA and everyone is taken care of. Like, it just makes me.
Like, I mean, I think Disney's probably for an adult pass about $200 a day now, probably like $185, right? And it's like, how, like, I doubt he flew private. Yeah. So how do you like justify, I don't know, maybe he drove, but how do you justify going through TSA knowing that you're going to fucking Disney World?
Yeah, no shot.
No.
Yeah, he took his RV.
I can't. So we can stop at Chick-fil-A on the way. It's fine.
Hey, y'all got sweet tea right now? Y'all got sweet tea?
I have to say though, like I will say, I think liking Disney is like the one thing about Lindsey Graham that I actually find kind of charming. And that he's dressed like I said, like my dad going to a parent-teacher conference.
Yeah, he's the accountant.
Yeah.
He's checking on the books.
Like he looks so sweaty and miserable and like, I don't know. We're going to be, you know what? This is like DHS. We can keep talking about it, but I will continue to monitor Lindsey Graham in Disney World.
I like this. Also, I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to like rack my brain. I don't think I've ever seen a person in a button up at Disney.
No, that's the other thing. Like you've never been, but I'm just telling you right now, like the other thing too is like, if you're going to be there, like blend in, wear a like oversized t-shirt that says Peepaw. I'm the Peepaw. Every time you go to Disney too, by the way, it's like fucking like last time that I was in Disneyland, I was like in line behind these people and like the line was so long, but I didn't give a shit because they're like, well, we're here today. We got the grandkids. Grandpa can't do this ride, so he's over with his scooter. I was like, I'll just listen to these people talk all day. Like this is fucking, I think these people are great. They're probably all MAGA Republicans, just like Lindsey Graham. But yeah, put on a t-shirt that says, I'm the Peepaw. I'm the one with the credit card.
Yes.
I'm still paying for last year's trip.
Oh my God.
You know what? Let's get Lindsey Graham to like have us be his surrogate kids.
Oh, I love
it. And then we'll go to Disney World with him. Anyway, in other news, I want to talk to you guys about this a little bit. And I threw it out there on Threads this morning, but Laura Dern is producing and starring in a Jeffrey Epstein series. So this is going to be the first scripted series about Jeffrey Epstein. Laura Dern will play Julie K. Brown, the journalist who was reporting on Epstein and led to all of those charges in 2018. And there's a lot of criticism online about this. And I wanted to just sort of, Billie, I know you've been really closely following and covering the Epstein case. And so I wanted to just see how do you guys feel about a scripted series coming out right now?
I think you go ahead, please.
I think anything and everything that comes out is a plus. Like, I love Laura Dern. I love her so much. I'm obsessed. And I think this is just perfect. I think that we need every scripted documentary, series, movies, TV shows. We need everything. We need to keep talking about it. So even this just coming out and us having the conversation, it's working.
Agree. Strong agree. I believe that. I think you can't have enough material that can allow things to get in people's brains, because reading the documents, you're not going to get the average person to do it. And there's so much in it that we could have a million series and each bit have different parts that we don't know yet come to light. And also, Laura Dern, I'll follow her to the end of the earth. If they said she was playing Jeffrey, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Here's the thing. not Ryan Murphy. Thank fucking God.
Yes.
I do want to hear like how survivors feel about it. Like I'm curious to hear how they feel about it. One of the things that I kept seeing online is sort of like people saying like, why are we getting this before we get justice? And it's also like, is justice ever going to truly be served? Like that's a whole other conversation. And so I am curious, and we do have an Epstein survivor coming on the show pretty soon. And so I you know, if that's something that she's open to talking about, I'm going to be curious to ask her a little bit more about that. But I think, you know, I think one of the reasons that some people are having this reaction to the show, though, is because of the irresponsibility that we've been seeing with the telling of Love Story, the JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy show. And so I kind of wonder if that's one of the things that's like on people's minds is like how we tell the stories of the people who maybe can't speak for themselves anymore, or like, you know, don't have the platform.
Yeah, there's so many stories that need to be told. Like, I feel like the more the merrier in an unfortunate situation, but I would love to hear from all of like the different victims. And, you know, it's like one thing if there's a story coming out where it's like the untold childhood of Jeffrey. It's like, no, are you fucking kidding me? That's the one thing that I'd be like, no, we don't need. But like, I think this is just such a great move in this whole entire thing. So I'm definitely for it. I don't know, like, where is the criticism coming from? What have you seen?
Do you want me to read some?
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm a little curious to like what people, I think I'm also just like, you know, scrolling. I'm so used to looking at the comments of everything that's someone is saying or doing now. And it's like, when you have a live conversation, you're like, what are people saying? Like, what's...
Oh my God, you're knowing about my stuff? Which, by the way, speaking of knowing about your stuff, Lindsey Graham, TMZ, says he did go on Space Mountain twice.
Yes.
Of course.
Right? Billy, you called it. Okay. So I threaded about this earlier today, and someone said, doesn't feel like the timing is right, but people want to be first and get greedy. Also, if you're not already, do check out a fascinating. Okay, sorry, that's unrelated. So we should be focusing on justice for the victims first. So I think that like some of these people are saying like it feels a little early. So yeah, I'm really curious to hear how the victims feel about it or survivors feel about it. And I think like I haven't seen a statement come out yet when I was researching this yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I will say this, one commenter wrote yesterday, I saw this one, last episode twist, it turns into a movie about the war in Iran.
Yeah, that's sadly true.
I want you guys to know that I actually did take some liberties and I rewrote that comment so it could end on war in Iran.
You did? Yeah. You did. Nice job.
Yeah. Like a true comic.
Wow.
I was like,
really
how do we land on the laugh?
You really did it.
So whoever I paraphrased, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's not too soon at all. I think that like, obviously this happened in 2018 and the reporter has a story and it needs to be told. I think every aspect of anything connected to Jeffrey Epstein, besides ever anything about him personally or his like childhood, needs to come to light. I 100% think it's not too soon.
Agree. And also, like, I felt that way with, you know, they came out with like 8 different versions of Dope Sick about the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
And I loved it because there was so much about that I didn't know. And then once I got into it, and then I kept getting into it, and I felt really empowered by all these different series that they were coming out with. And it put a name to people that I didn't fully know when everything was coming out.
Yeah, I think that's like something too that somebody wrote in and was like, you really have to show people in order for them to understand the impact. So there's that piece too. One thing I will say is like, by the time this series comes out, it's probably going to be like almost 2028. So it'll be almost 10 years. And I also think that we have this like time suck because of COVID that we're like 2018 was like so recent. And it's like, oh God, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like that's also kind of part of it. So anyway, I think we have a guest with us today. I'm really excited for this guest, especially today on Trans Day of Visibility. Y'all, Scott Turner Schofield has spent over 20 years helping tell better trans stories as a community activist. an Emmy-nominated actor, a consultant in Hollywood, and the creator of Becoming a Man in 127 Easy Steps. It's now streaming on Kinema. He joins us for Trans Day of Visibility in a cultural moment where trans visibility has never been so fraught and trans stories have never been more vital. Scott,
hi.
We are bringing you on.
I'm so happy to be here and with these beautiful folks as well. Like, what a joy and a gift.
So there's a rumor going on that you and Jeffrey already know each other.
We've known each other for a long time. I don't even remember what it was.
Honestly, I mean, look, we're both native Texans. Who we both have.
I want to say it was like 16 years ago or something. Does that track? Yeah, I think so.
Did you see me naked is really the question.
I think I missed that.
I
would have remembered. I'll tell you, I'm sure I would have remembered.
Listen, it violate TikTok.
Who saw my performance art who were like, I remember you naked.
And I don't think you've ever met Billie. So, this is like, feels like a love fest today.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see everybody. Thanks for making this space and opening up your platform and bringing us all on today. That's really cool.
Because we're on live television, we're going to make just a little scoot check. I'm going to scoot you in a little closer to me, Jeffrey. Just like me. This is what we sing when we have to move it a little closer. I know the wires are there. Right. Well, Scott, I watched your film. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I want to talk a little bit today, and this is really all these questions are questions for the group. Okay. So today is Trans Day of Visibility, March 31st. And it's coming at this time where the lives and identity of trans folks has become this huge focus, dare I say obsession of the Trump administration and the MAGA movement. Right. So it appears there'll be no acknowledgement of Trans Day of Visibility by the White House. And I always come back to this question, and maybe there's no real answer, but to all of you, why do you think that trans rights have become such an issue for the MAGA movement and for Trump?
Well, I mean, I think actually one of the most effective tools that the right wing has deployed in this moment is to create a series of talking points that have so completely framed trans existence as issues, as really complicated, difficult issues that nobody can really understand. That's a form of dehumanizing people, right? And that is their entire agenda for us. They don't think we're human. They think we think, God knows, I try not to stay in the minds of MAGA, but right? That is their whole plan. Because if you dehumanize somebody, then it doesn't matter what you do to them. You can take away their IDs, you can put them in prison and put them through torture, which is the other word for conversion therapy, right? And here's the weird thing too, is that we are all expected to then answer those talking points, right? So two comedians and a storyteller, right? It doesn't matter. You could that's just us. You could be a trans plumber or a nurse or a painter, right? We're all supposed to be able to respond to every single political talking point about us that we may or may not have anything to do with our lives in a way that not only synthesizes all the facts, which can be very complex and nuanced, but that also can convince whoever we're talking to that we're just regular human beings like them who they should care about. And I can tell you, after 20 years of doing this, it doesn't really work. We have to change the frame, right? So I think the thing that we have to do, thinking about Trans Day of Visibility, right, is we have to ignore the talking points that they're putting on us and just talk about the world as we see it and experience it as trans people, because that's the only way people are going to relate to us. We're three storytellers. Am I right? Or am I right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're Billie. I think it's important to keep telling the stories of our lives, positive stories. But it's so hard for me to not sit in fear, because even recently, I think it was experts came out and said that there is a red flag warning that we are in preconditioning of a genocide, a trans genocide happening in America. There's a reason they are taking our gender markers and taking our driver's license. There's a reason why Texas is generating a database and collecting all of our information. And then there's a reason why these ICE detention centers are not giving us the hormones and the gender affirming care that we need, along with prisons. So this is a whole entire preconditioning genocide that's happening, which is like so terrifying. And I try to like think, don't live in fear, but at the same time, I need every single person to know, especially on Trans Day of Visibility. But that said, just like you said, Scott, we also have to live in love and show who we are, and that we want to just live a normal, beautiful life and living in love. So
100%. And that living in love, right? People don't commit genocide against people that they know and care about, right? And how the way that the right wing has separated us out so that people don't know or care about us is they've made these issues that people feel very strongly about, right? Bathrooms, kids, sports, military, right? And they've created this way of separating us from everybody and putting us into these issues that are so complicated and so complex to your average mind. Meanwhile, I feel bad for cis people because they have dumbed cis people down so hard. Think about, like, remember Kindergarten Cop? Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. That's like cis people right now. I'm sorry, Meredith. But like, do you know how many times have you all had that conversation today?
Yeah. The younger generation, what I love to see is that it's so fluid and so different, especially with younger cis kids. I'm just like, oh, there's hope there. Yeah, definitely.
Someone just wrote into the chat and they were saying, what's this? I'm assuming this person is cisgendered. What's an appropriate thing to say to a friend today who's trans on Trans Day of Visibility?
Want to get coffee?
Yeah, like if you're me, what can, like, do you say happy? They're saying, like, do I say happy day, happy Trans Day of Visibility? Like, what feels?
I'll be picky, but it's actually deep. Oh, go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, sorry, I was seconding yours, which is like, everybody loves a good coffee. In fact, just before we went on air, me and Billy were making plans earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go be visible on a hike. But yeah, I think right now, I think some of it is just being able to be normal in a moment is really nice and comfortable. Just being with your friends. And I think it might be less of happy Trans Day of Visibility is nice, but also like, let's go do something.
But I see what you mean.
Like, I feel bad for this person. Like how are you going to ask somebody, like, they've confused you so much that you don't even know how to have a regular conversation with a person who's trans. How to say happy holiday if you celebrate. You know what I mean? Right? Like, that's how bad this is. Let's make that visible here, right? But I will say, a very nice thing that every trans person really always loves to hear is, I see you. Happy Day of Visibility. I see you.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I see you, and it's like, how can I help you be visible and be safe? And then also, I think anytime we like focus on Trans Day of Visibility or remembrance, trans people lack resources. So how can I be of service to you in any way? I think that's important on days like this.
Producer Vienna says, I'll pick up the check.
Yeah. Treat us.
Don't go to coffee. Take them out for coffee.
Yeah.
Right? I also just would love to know, we're all millennials. I'm amongst millennials here.
How dare you?
Y'all lived through a 2016 Trump administration, right? Like, how different does it feel right now from the prior Trump administration to this Trump administration?
100% different. So incredibly different. Back then, we still lived in the phase where it didn't feel like so much active movement against, and we still had the talking points out there, but things weren't changing rapidly. We weren't getting different passports back or withheld. It's so incredibly different, and it feels a lot faster and more mobile.
And so much more cool, and people care so much less. And not because people are bad, but because the zone is flooded, right? So it's like everybody's trying to keep up with the price of eggs, and they can't handle everything else, all of these complex, nuanced issues that dehumanize us.
To be fair, the price of eggs going up, that is on trans people. We did that.
Yeah.
I should have sold my eggs. I should have flooded the zone with my eggs.
Well, in the last few weeks in Idaho, has been a bill that it looks like it will pass. It passed in the legislature. It's headed to the governor's desk, and it would criminalize trans folks using the correct restroom, right? And this is punishable with jail time that is more severe than a DUI in the state of Idaho. And so, I mean, this is just absolutely wild. But I want to ask all of you, like, you know, if you're willing to sort of talk about, like, why is using the correct bathroom is so incredibly important. Using the bathroom that you're in is that you feel safe in is so important. And I'm wondering if you could just talk people through, like, these people who believe this, like, idea that you're trying to invade bathrooms, like, why this matters as a safety issue.
I mean, again, it's like, oh, go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, and mine's a little bit of a left turn, but like I don't know if I am different from the two of you on here, but I did not change my gender marker ever. And as a point, I never did. Mm-hmm. And it's because I was arrested in South Texas 16, 17 years ago. And they did it was just for a simple speeding ticket. And they took me in and they did a full strip search on me. And that day scared me so much that I never changed my gender marker from female. And I wouldn't, because but being able to pass in a situation where it is gendered is probably one of the scariest situations, because people, I don't know what fight or flight happens, but there's something that happens in a private space that people are more charged. Am I off on this?
No, you're not, but it's also just been created. It didn't used to be this way, right? It just didn't until the right wing found through focus groups. And we have a whole trove of emails of them all chattering away in their little lair about how this is the thing. And they've done the focus groups and they figured out that bathrooms freak people out, right? This was manufactured. Like, all of that tension didn't use. I've been peeing in public, not in public, obviously, but I've been being in public bathrooms, for 25 years. Okay. And it's been fine. And everybody sitting next to me has been fine. There's never been an issue. And of course, like, I come with a lot of privilege, right? I look like this, and it's no one would suspect. But now what these laws do is they make it so that if someone knows who I am and they video me walking into the bathroom, it's like bounty hunting, right? They can turn that in, and suddenly I'm more than a DUI, really? Okay, well, I guess all the DUIs are used up in Idaho. It's fine. But, right. I mean, I tell the story of before I even understood that I was trans. It's like, being trans is a complex, nuanced thing, right? Like, I knew that I was a boy when I was 4 years old. I was very, very clear about this. And I told everybody I ever met, I'm a boy. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a man, not an astronaut, not a doctor, a man, right? The signs were all there, but it was at a time when people did not have the resources. There were no stories out there. There wasn't anything people could connect to and say, hey, I think your kid's trans, there was no language for it, right? So I sort of just bumbled through, and I came out as a lesbian, and I was thinking the whole time, like, do all lesbians want to be men? Like, I don't know. I think the whole thing about being a lesbian is you're a woman with a woman. I guess I'll figure this out. And I was 18 years old, and I was in athleisure at the movie theater. And, the movie theater where gender is like 10 feet tall right in front of you, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, right? I go to the bathroom. And I walk out of the women's bathroom, the bathroom that I had no idea that I should ever not be in. And, my hair was about this short. And I walk in, I do my business, I come out, and there's a woman, and she startles. And I'm like, and she starts hitting me with her purse. Get out, you pervert, get out. And I pull up my shirt to show my sports bra, because lesbian, right? And she's like, you sick pervert. I mean, just continues to do this. So it didn't matter that I was a woman at the time to that woman. I was just somebody that she didn't want in her bathroom. And, we say that, like, putting an ID mandate on a bathroom isn't going to stop somebody coming in who wants to harm someone. But what if the person is already in there? That was a cisgender woman who did that to me when, as far as anybody knew, including myself, I was a cisgender woman. And that's what we keep seeing. These bathroom bills just harm all y'all, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're very careful. We've been trained by, a lifetime of being told that we're in the wrong space or we're not allowed. I spent the first 10 years not ever using a bathroom in public of my transition, of planning out my entire day, going to open mics and then leaving, and because open mics are in the grossest bars. So it was that was actually
like no door on the stalls, and
no door, there's a drop there. The first 10 years I did not use a public bathroom because I was so scared. And
well, you should create an e-course now, man, because like now people have to know. You've done all the research, right? Now people need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear from Billie. Billie, does anything different come up for you?
Well, I joke about it on stage often about the bathroom situation, but I'll never forget, like, this has been going on for so long, like Scott said, but years ago when North Carolina introduced their HB2, I think it was, I mean, this was like probably 10 years ago. This was when the first big bathroom bill came out. I flew to North Carolina and there was a huge protest. And in between the protesting, they had a country singer. And they literally had like little American flags, and they had free hot dogs. And all the Republicans who weren't MAGA at the time, they had these country singers on, and in between the country singers, they would have politicians come on and they would say over and over and over, we got to protect our women and children from these perverts in the bathroom. And it was a form of brainwashing, because at the time, and still now, there is no one, you don't see people arrested. Like the ones that are getting arrested are the priests, are the cis hetero males that are literally a part of a religion organization group. Those are the ones being arrested for any type of bathroom issues. So what I saw was like they were taking something where we are vulnerable in bathrooms. Like that is a time where we are in public, our pants are down, our private areas are exposed. And so it is a very vulnerable place. And they're taking that and they're brainwashing people into saying that trans people are going to harm them when it's not true. And it just blew my mind. And they literally kept that same model and they keep doing it over and over and over. And every state is doing it. And by the way, I literally just performed in Idaho and I love Idaho. Like the people were so amazing to me. The show was so great. It just really sucks that you have some of these Republicans that represent the entire state. But yeah, I really, it's just a shame and it's scary. And I joke about this so often on stage, but in real life, it's like if I went to a man's restroom dressed the way that I am and looking the way that I am, I'm the one in danger. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of MAGA men in my DMs wanting to do something to me. Like I'm so much more in harm's way than any other cis person in that bathroom. Mm-hmm. So it's mind blowing.
Well, I'll say this. I was going through this bathroom bill in Idaho, and I did find there's one Republican state senator, Jim Guthrie, who broke from his party on this vote. He was the one Republican who voted against it. And I'm going to quote him. There's only one part that I'm like, Jim, no, that's, but I'm going to read this quote. They go in the bathroom they're supposed to go. They upset people. They go in the one for how they look like now. They're breaking the law, which includes severe penalties. We seem to be really focused on this space and ignoring the fact that they are people just like us, human beings. What are they supposed to do? That's a Republican state senator who's
That's
getting
a real
so
Republican. That's a real Republican.
Say more.
Because, well, I mean, look, I mean, I don't know about you, Billie, but me and Jeffrey can talk about Republicans because that's the stew we grew up in, right?
And
but,
Billie.
Yeah, my family's
right? Okay, right? Like MAGA is a radical far right fascist group. Republicans are people who don't want the government in your personal life. And there is no more personal thing. All of the things that are happening to trans people is the government so deep up in our personal life, wasting tax dollars. Like, I really hope there's some nerd out there who's like keeping track of how much money is being spent on persecuting 1% of the population just to get inside our pants, just to bother us, just to be there, because it is so like, real Republicans should be losing their minds over this.
Such a good point. That is such a good point. Like, this is how a real Republican would respond to this. This is how, like, this is what their party is built on. Limited government.
And what is this world we're in that I'm like, I'm going to tell you what a Republican is, and I'm going to wish that we had them. Like, what has happened?
Right.
Well, you know what? Fuck you, Gavin Newsom. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Because the funny thing is, I think one of the things that this made me reminded me is it's not just Republicans. It's not just MAGA. There's a lot of Democratic people who I see parroting the same bullshit, like Gavin Newsom, like Pete Buttigieg. Stop. Like, I know what they're doing. They're trying to like get the moderates by being like, but I do have concerns around sports. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that so many of you motherfuckers were raising Olympic athletes. Like, what is sports such a fucking issue? Like, now that they're banning transgender folks from the Olympics and parents are like, good, I'm so glad my kid's going to have a chance. Your kid is on JV softball, okay? The odds of them winning the lottery are better than them going to the fucking Olympics. Save your money. God damn it.
Yeah.
When Gavin Newsom said that thing about like people need to look at being more normal and not talk about pronouns and blah, blah, blah. I took the clip of him doing that and I put subtitles for what he was really saying, which is like that privileged people need to stay comfortable no matter what the human cost, right? And I put it up on Instagram and it was fine, but then I put it on Facebook where they're watching reels with no sound. So they really thought, and it was funny because I didn't mean to do it, but the way that it came out, it really did look like he was saying what I was subtitling him as saying. It went viral, like the comments were crazy. And what was so wild was it was typical Facebook, right? It was liberals freaking out, right? And it was Republicans freaking out. The liberals were freaking out thinking that he really said it and like, screw you, Gavin. The Republicans were going, too little, too late, Gavin. We'll never have you. So I'm like, Gavin, nobody likes you. Not even the people that you're trying to bring over in your corner. Just quit. Just go to your Republican family. Just be a Republican, dude. Like, stop pretending. We all see it, and nobody likes it.
Well, you know what we do like? We like you, Scott. So could you tell our friends where they can find you?
Sure. Look at my name, Scott Turner Schofield. It's Turner Schofield, my last two names. It was a really dumb choice of a name, but it was at the beginning of the internet, basically, since I'm a millennial, and I didn't know any better. But Turner Schofield, I'm across all the things. If I can, talk about Idaho for just a second. These are the stories, right? So Becoming a Man in 127 Easy Steps is this film, which you can find on Kinema. It's like cinema with a K, where it's just a bunch of stories because that's what life is, right? That's what all of our lives are. There's not a sport metaphor. There's not a bathroom. There's not a hormone, nary a hormone to be seen in this movie, right? Because it's about what happens in the rest of our lives. And I believe that all trans people have at least 127 stories that we have to tell about our lives. I actually believe everybody does. And I would love to tell you a story about Idaho, if that's okay. And then I would love to hear stories from Billie and Jeffrey.
We can, you know what? We typically go to our closing segment right here. But you know what we can do today? No, it's Trans Day of Visibility. So let's do this. We have to wrap. We have to wrap in the next like 3 minutes because of studio time. But let's do this. Let's have Scott do share with us, and then Billie and Jeffrey, if you want to jump in and add a comment, and then we'll close it out like that.
Okay. Well, thank you for making an exception. Idaho.
Like, you guys, what kind of ally would I be if I'm like, and that's our time?
Turn off. Music. I will never forget Idaho, because I was there very early on in the period of my medical transition, where I was starting to move through the world looking very different than I ever did, right? Very much more masculine, but also still kind of feminine, right? And I was there performing. I was walking down the street, and this truck pulls out beside me, and they threw a bottle at me. And as they did, they called me the F slur, right? And part of me, like, as it's happening, this bottle is like arcing toward, and didn't hit me, but it hit the wall behind me. As it's happening, I was like, you can't write how cliche this shit is, right? Like, with like a gun rack, and they call me the F slur, like, this is wild. And then it dawned on me, they think I'm an F slur. I am visibly a dude now. Oh my God. And it was truly one of the happiest moments of my life. So it's a very trans story, but thank you, Idaho, for making me a man. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me.
Senator Jim Guthrie that threw the bottle. Well, Scott, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're super grateful for you, and we hope you'll come back and hang with us again.
I would love that. Thank you so much. And thanks for this space. It's really great. And great to see you, Billie and Jeffrey. Real pleasure. Happy. I see you. I see you.
You guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. We always end our show with what's having a moment. And so I'd love to know just quickly, Billie, what's having a moment for you right now?
What's having a moment for me? I mean, comedy is my entire life right now. I love it so much, and it's brought me so much confidence with my trans experience, and I just love making people laugh. So being on tour, that's the moment for me.
Oh, and look, you've got dates.
I have dates, I'm featuring and headlining.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to let's see. Hold on. I'm just looking at some fun cities here. You guys, check it out. Austin, Texas, Chicago, and Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana. She's a hometown girl. Oh, this is great, Billie. Okay. Jeffrey, what's having a moment for you?
Trans people tonight.
Hell yeah.
Dynasty Typewriter. It's The Joy Who Lived is a giant trans festival, and the kickoff show is tonight. So if you want to go and see an all trans lineup of comedians and musicians, Dynasty Typewriter tonight.
Love it.
Cool.
This is there's that flag. I love that. I'll tell you what's having a moment for me. Goose from the comments, who says, you all love telling people what they should be doing. I think that's really directed at me. And here's what I'm going to say, Goose. No fucking shit. I've been telling people what they should be doing every day of my life since I was about 3.5 years old. Okay. So like you don't have to even come in the comments and tell me that. I know it's a problem. All right. I've been in therapy since I was like 15. I know that it's an issue, but yeah, I'm going to keep telling you what to do. And sometimes I'm going to be right. So you're welcome. Yeah. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We can't wait to see you on Friday. Rebecca will be back, and we have Representative Jake Auchincloss from my home state of Massachusetts coming on the show. As always, I want to give a shout out to our guests, Billie Lee, Jeffrey J. Follow them in all the places you see their faces. Thank you to Gabby in the booth, Vienna, and Rebecca. We love and miss you. Bye, guys.
Hi.